So adding some more polish to this, what we want to do is set up some sounds and some particles. To start off with the sounds, what we're going to do is actually create a function that will just take in the sound that we want, and then we don't have to really worry about turning the sound on and off, or whether or not it's in a loop that continues or anything like that. So let's go ahead and start off just up at the top. We'll make some variables here for us. Let's see, just some regular public variables. We'll go ahead and start off with a sound jump. So this is going to be an audio clip, right? And the audio clip is going to be something that we just actually place one of our sound files into. Let's see, along with sound jump, let's do a sound crouch jump as well. And we'll make an audio clip for this one as well. Alright, now those two, this just as a basics here is that these are two very simple files, a jump and a crouch jump, but you could also add walking, breathing, all sorts of different ones. If he's running and he stops, if he came from a run to a stop, you could base it off a certain amount of time, so he breathes heavier until he stops, and until he catches his breath. There's lots of different things you could add to this. We're going to just create two sounds, though, just so you understand how to add the sound to it. Along with the sounds, let's go ahead and add a few other things for our function. We're going to make a couple of private variables here. First one is going to be a sound rate, and we'll have this one set up so that we can have, it's just basically going to hold the current time plus a delay amount. So we'll have this one set up as a float, and let's just make this default out to 0 to start with. And then we'll also have a private variable, and this one's going to be a sound delay. Sound delay is just exactly what it means, is that it's going to be the amount of time between each time the sound plays. So if you wanted it to play out every second or every couple of seconds, you can actually set the delay amount to a certain amount for it. Alright, so we'll have those two. We'll use these two in the in our function. So instead of putting the function at the very bottom, though, we'll put this one right up here at the top. So right above the function update, let's go ahead and create a function. We'll just call this one, let's see, we'll say play sound. And for the arguments inside of here, let's actually have we'll have a sound name, and we'll have a sound delay. So the sound name, this is actually going to hold the name of the file, which will be our sound jump. So it will be this one, and then be the sound crouch jump. So we'll have those two audio clips placed into here, and then the time frame for it to delay, if it's supposed to delay. Alright, so inside of here, when you're looking at sound, again, very similar to like we've done before, you can just go over to your scripting reference. If we were to type in audio clip, what we should get is a audio clip with all of the properties for it, and this just provides us, for instance, length. This gives us how long the actual audio file is. Each one of these is going to give us stuff to help us out with it. I've already kind of looked through this area. If you haven't looked at audio before, and it's gonna be a big part of your game, which most games will be part of the game, be sure to spend some time, look at the audio clip, look at sound files, understand how it's going to be calling them up. What we're going to do is make a simple function, though, and we just want to do a very simple thing here. We want to check for the audio. We want to find out, not audio clip, we just want to say if audio dot is playing. So if the audio is done playing, so if the audio isn't playing right now, and we'll say that time, the current time is less than sound rate. Now sound rate is just going to be our sound rate right here is just going to hold our current time plus the sound delay. That way it won't play until that amount of time has passed. So inside of here, let's go ahead and set up the sound rate is going to equal current time, and current time plus sound delay time. Alright, so what this will do is hold, and this is a pretty simple statement, hopefully you can kind of see this and get what's happening, is that the sound rate every time time actually happens, so this would be like, say, if it was 5 seconds in, then 5 is going to say, is it greater than sound rate? Well, sound rate is equal to the current time plus delay time. So until the time is greater than the sound rate, nothing's going to go inside of here. And then once it is, it gets reset. Sound rate gets added to another, whatever the delay amount is. Maybe it was every 1 second, maybe every 3 seconds. And then it plays into it. All right, so we have our sound delay. Then we're going to just pull up a audio clip, and the audio clip is going to actually equal the sound name, which is a part of our function getting it from here. So say it's going to equal this, so we're loading our current clip. And then once we load the clip, then we can actually play the clip. Alright. So if we play the clip, and notice we have several options for playing. We're just going to play just a simple, just a straightforward play option for it. So whatever is loaded from here, which is actually based on the function call of the sound name, then it's just simply going to load the file, it's going to play it, and then once it's played, let's go ahead and do a yield here. We're going to wait for seconds, and the wait for seconds is going to be the length of the audio clip. So we'll do audio.clip.length. Alright. And very similar to all the other stuff is that once you start doing the certain calls and you start getting the API down better and better, it's going to be easier just to pull this up. Same thing that is if it's your first time, go through here, start to find all the right calls. All of this is always going to take you about anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour plus on looking through it, understanding it, trying to get it figured out. But once you do get it figured out, though, it becomes a lot easier to just grab what you need. For instance, if I go to my audio clip length, I get my actual yield statement, which is what we used right here. So pretty simple on that side of it, but it's just making sure you go through each one to start seeing it, start understanding it. Alright, so if we have those, that's actually going to give us all the stuff we need for our sound function, and we can start using our sound files that we'll pull in from here. So let's see, getting started with that part. Let's save this, and we'll go into here and click on our player character, and we should notice from the player character here is that the player controls, we get a sound jump and a sound crouch jump. So let's go ahead and place in 2 files for that one. Let's see. If you go up to the audio here, and inside of audio there should be a Mario jump. We'll find that one, Mario jump right here. We'll do the sound jump for that one. And then there should be another Mario type jump here. Let's see. We'll actually just grab the Mario noise after jumping. There we go. Alright, so with those 2 placed in, we can now actually use those inside the code. And for what we want to use them for is going to be the jump. So let's go ahead and go down to our jumps, the initialization of the jump. So while they're still on the ground, when we actually get the initial jump option here, let's place in the sound files for it here. So we'll go into here. First one, so again, our function, we just want to call up place sound, and we're going to place in the sound one, which was sound jump, and then we don't really want a delay or anything inside of it, so we'll just set it to 0. We'll go ahead and put in a comment here for jump, and then we'll do the same one for the run jump. So let's go ahead and place in the run jump option. We still want to just use the regular sound jump on this one. And then for the other one, though, we could easily just put in a different one for that crouch jump. So we'll put in the crouch sound jump one. And that one, sound crouch jump. There we go. Okay, so putting in those, this will automatically set it up so that the right clip will be loaded onto it, the amount of time will be played properly, and the files should work with it. So when we play, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it or not on this one, but if you can hear it, you should be hearing just kind of a regular Mario jump. And then if you do a crouch down, so he has a little bit of his other type of crouch, the jump noise that he's making there. So if you don't hear it from this one, just be sure that you listen for it on yours. You should hear two different noises on those. Alright, so that's going to give us our sound for our jump. And that actually will finish off on that part of the sound on jumping side. Let's go ahead and add one more element here. Let's actually add a element of particle effects. So we'll go back up to the top. And we want to just place in a new variable. We'll make this one for the particle effects here. So we'll just drop this one right below the sound one. Actually, let's put this above the sound one. That way we keep those together. And for the particle effects, let's actually just call this one particle jump. And this one, we just want to transform from it. So we'll set the type as a transform. Alright. Now the transform type, let's go ahead and comment on these. This is going to be the particle for the feet hitting the ground. And this one will be, audio clip for jump. And audio clip for the crouch jump. Alright. And we'll go ahead and put these in here as well. This is going to give us our variable. I think we had it as a variable that holds current time plus delay amount. And this was actually the delay amount. So this would be the amount to delay for playing sound. Alright, so fill in the rest of our little spots right there. Okay, so for the particle jump, we need to do a couple of things to make particle jump work. First off, we actually need to set it so that it's going to go at the base of the character. By default, it'll just go to the center of the character, so we want to make it sure that we go down on the y-axis to the base of the feet. We could also place a box down here and call it up from there as well, but since it's just a sprite animation, we'll set it up manually here. So inside of here, let's see, we'll go ahead and just go to our update function. I'll actually just drop it in. Let's see, we'll place it above here. Let's make a variable, and we'll make a particle, and we'll just call it a particle placement. And we'll go ahead and set it as a vector 3. There we go. So the vector 3, we're just going to make it equal a new vector 3. And inside of this vector 3, we're just going to get the transform position. And we're going to get the transform position on the Y as well. But on the Y, I've played around with numbers for a little while, and the 0.5 works pretty well for getting the from the center point down, because right now this is set to 1 meter. So if I take it down -0.5, it takes it to the base of the sprite right there. So we'll go down 5 on the y-axis, and then we'll set the transform position on the z just to the object itself. So we haven't changed anything in terms of where it's placed, left and right or in the depth. We're changing the placement of it on the up and down. Alright, so let's put a semicolon at the end of that one. And we'll go ahead and comment on this one. We're just going to set particle at the base of the sprite. Alright, so we've set up two things. We've set up the particle jump that we're going to take in through the inspector, and we'll just use one of our particles we created. And then we'll set up the particle placement. This is going to be for instantiating, so that once we instantiate it, we'll actually call the particle placement up at this point. So it's going to be the transform of this object, meaning it's going to be the sprite right here. So it'll be the sprite's x position and z, and then just a -0.5 for the up and down. Alright, so let's go ahead and save this. We'll go ahead and create the, we'll go ahead and go back to the inspector, and in the jump particle right here, let's go ahead and go into our prefabs. So prefabs, just look for the one that is going to be prefab particle effect. Let's see. So we have a particle smoke effect. So just left click and drag the particle smoke effect over onto it. Alright, so that's going to create, for us it's going to look like, let me show you real fast, it'll be, oops, where'd it go? Particle smoke. It'll be looking like that. It'll just be a little puff of smoke that comes when he jumps. Alright, so back to the code here. The part that's going to actually be smoke from is going to be the jumps. So again, let's actually just have it where it creates it when he jumps initially. We'll just do it this way. So it looks like he's leaving off with a lot of force, so we'll have a little smoke left when he jumps off the ground. To create it, we just want to use the instantiation. So if you remember how to instantiate an object, you should have done this, several times already before. If you need to refresh your memory on it, then just be sure to go back to the scripting reference. Instantiating, though, we're just going to instantiate the object. When you instantiate the object from here, what it's looking for is the particle, basically the type that it's going to create a clone of, and then it's also going to check for the placement. So for us, our particle is called particle jump. So for inside of our first jump statement right here, so we have our 3 statements we've been working with. The first one, we're just going to call this one particle jump. And then what we want from the other is going to be the particle placement. Particle placement. There we go. So this was our vector 3 object we made right here, particle placement. So it's going to position the object, the only change is going to position it at the base of that sprite. Alright, so we have the type, which is going to be our particle jump smoke. Then it's going to place it there. And then the last part, we can just set the transform the rotation just to the rotation of the object as well. Okay. So this one, let's go ahead and actually do this for all 3 of the jumps. So we'll place this one in here. We'll drop in the instantiation on this part, and we'll do it for the last one. That way, anytime he jumps, it's going to create a nice little cool effect when he's jumping off. Alright, so if we are playing it here, okay, I'll go ahead and go full screen here so you can see it. So when he jumps, you get that little cloud of smoke right there. And if he jumps big, he also gets it. And if he's running. Alright, so there you go. So it's going to be sound effects and particle effects happening right there. And again, if you want to add additional sound effects, additional particle effects, all you got to do is just place them in with wherever things are happening. You can just stick them in there like we've done before, and you'll be able to start creating additional little kind of fine tuning all the little pieces and elements and making it look polished.